It was parked on the side, which it wasn't supposed to be parked there because the road was a two-way, and so you couldn't park your car on the side. And so when I saw that car, I'm like, yo, that's kind of weird. And then I caught, or I assume it was him, because he came out of the passenger side and he got out. Well, first the car was parked there. I was driving. I knew that it was him because I saw him at work at that time. So wearing the same clothes and everything, okay? I saw him come out of the passenger seat, and then a lady that was sitting on the driving spot, I guess they swapped seats, and he came around and he hugged her. And y'all, oh my gosh, my heart like left my body. Like for those who has ever gotten to, like, I don't know, like a heartbreak or whatever, or you saw something that made you, oh my god, this is not happening type of moment, you guys, my heart left my body, like spiritually. Like I feel like my soul left me, and y'all, I was in denial. I was like, no, that's not him, no, it can't be him. And I looked at my rear mirror to see, and they got into the car, and I was like, okay, like please don't. I was like, please God, I was telling myself, please God, please don't let that be him, you know. And you guys, I was in denial. I was like, no, he's not cheating on me, is he? I'm like, I know that's him. I saw him today with that shirt on. And then when I got home, I called him. Okay, you guys, before I get there, you know, when I say that my heart left my body, and you feel a lot of like, I don't know, how can I describe this? Like, describe this. Your body gets numb, like, all these like blood rushing everywhere. It's like my anxiety just like hit so fucking high to import. I felt like I was gonna fucking die. Like I don't know, you guys, but if you ever felt like that, you know, please let me know. Because that shit fucking hurt. Like it fucking like hit me so hard to put where I was in fucking denial. Okay, so when I got home, I called him, and I called him because, you know, we still have some financial stuff that we needed to deal with, and we have some bills that we needed to, I don't know, get it situated. And then at that time, I guess he decided to cut off the internet. When I told him that, don't cut off the internet, I'll pay for whatever's left in a month, and then I will let you know when to take it out. And so I guess he didn't do that. He was being petty as fuck. And so he turned off the internet. I didn't have internet at home. And so I called him and I told him that, you know, I already told you that, you know, I'm willing to pay for whatever month that is left before I moved out. So why did you turn it off? And he was like, I don't know, because I wanted to, whatever. And then to end the conversation, I asked him, are you cheating on me? And he couldn't tell me straight up. His response was, we're not together anymore. And I told him that, are you cheating on me? He said, we're not together anymore. And I told him that, but we're still married. We're still culturally married. We're not divorced yet. So why are you doing that? So for you guys listening, and let me know too, okay? Is it wrong for me to say that? For me, I felt like that's cheating because we weren't even divorced. Like culturally, we didn't even do the step-by-step process of divorcing, okay? And two weeks after he packed up his stuff and left, didn't say anything, didn't tell me anything, didn't say that, oh, I want to divorce or whatever. He just found himself a new side chick 2 weeks after he left. And then I called him at work. That was like the stupidest shit ever. But, you know, I think he purposely just did that. Just so that, because he knows that I'm at work and he knows that I can see it. And it's just his way of hurting me back, you know. But, you know, it did work. But I'm not that weak motherfucker, okay? Aside from that, yeah, and I even say that, you know, we're not divorced. And I even mentioned that what if your uncles, your aunts, your family member saw you with this bitch, and then they're gonna ask you, "Oh, lost boy, how are you? Where's your wife?" And then you'll be like, "Oh, yeah, she's at home." And then they're gonna ask you, "But who's this lady that you're with?" Bitch, you caught, okay? And I get that I guess we're not together anymore, but the thing is that we didn't even talk to our parents about us splitting up. And for you to have the audacity to just be a hoe and go find another bitch to fuck with, all I gotta say, you guys, oh my god, I can go so much in detail about this and what I feel about this, but I'm just gonna, no, I'm not, okay, I'm just gonna say it, okay? My thing is that, we didn't even talk to the elders, or we didn't even talk to our parents about us getting divorced or separating or any of that stuff. I'm pretty sure he told his parents, but his parents are cheaters themselves. They have a history of cheating on each other, and I guess it rubbed on him as well. And so, as much as he claims that, he's not a cheater himself, but he is cheating, because my thing is that it's this, I don't give a fuck if you want to go find other bitches to fuck and start a relationship, whatever, but you should at least respect our relationship enough to wait until you officially go through the process and divorce completely, and then go fuck around, then go create a new relationship or whatever after divorce. But yet you didn't want to do that. You just wanted to be a hoe. So if that's the case, then, for me, I consider that as cheating. Because what if we did talk to our parents, and then they decided that, it's best if you guys just, get together and work on things. This problem is just a little bitty ass problem that could be resolved. But no, you didn't do that. You just want to be a hoe. Because, you guys, at the end of the day, lost boy cannot keep his dick in, okay? Being with him all my life, for 10 years, he's easy like that, okay? He's an easy guy, and, like even when I first met him and started dating him, he'll tell me stories about, oh, he was able to get with a girl, and he was able to get a kiss from her on the first day that they met. I'm like, he's an easy ass bitch. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's why I wasn't surprised if he, cheated on me like that, and like I say, at that time, I still loved him. I still have, feelings for him. I still wanted us to work, but I was just so drained and so tired from everything. And for him to do that, and when I saw him doing that, y'all, I was so like, it's not that I purposely checked on his phone or checked on his face, but I didn't do any of these things. Somehow, I guess God was on my side, the universe was on my side, and they just showed me that. And then right there and then, I knew that, yeah, I have to end it. Because before that, we even talked about, like, if one of us cheated, would you ever come back? Would you ever, make it work? And, I said that, I'll give you a second chance. And he said that he would never take me back if I cheated, because, of course, his parents, his birth mom and his parents, his stepmom and dad, they all cheat on each other, okay? They're a bunch of cheating ass family, that particular family. And so, I guess with him seeing his parents cheating on each other, having all of those like infidelity, like he wouldn't take me back, and I get that. And for me, I was like, yeah, I'll give you a second chance. But the moment when it actually happened, and when it actually happened in my face, I've learned that, what, I can't do cheating. I would never take a person back if he cheats on me. And so, right, when that happened, when I saw him doing that, I knew that, I can never be with him anymore, because, I can never trust him anymore, especially with him disrespecting me, our marriage. I just couldn't do it anymore. And I knew that back in my mind, as I mentioned, you guys, lost boy is a hoe. He is easy like that. He can meet another girl on the road and fuck her, and I just trust my instinct. I knew that if I stick around, if I beg him to come back, I'll just be the laughing stock. And so I knew that, I'm worth more than this. I'm not gonna be his wife any longer, because I'm not gonna play with this, I don't know, cheating side chick wife drama. Like, I'm not gonna deal with that. And so again, I will make a different episode talking more in depth about my divorce and how the process worked and whatnot and what I did. But I just decided to just divorce him. And so finally divorced him. I think, well, from what I heard, because okay, you guys, it doesn't matter if you're trying to block your ex or block people that you don't want to be around. At the end of the day, if they're family or friends, they know him, they will come back to you and tell you what they're up to, what your ex is up to and whatnot. You cannot escape from that, okay? From what my sibling told me is that, you know, I guess he made it official, Facebook official on his page. And you guys, we were still like, it's like he made it official towards the end of July. I remember towards the end of July. So we were separated in the beginning of July. And then he met with this new girl, because I found out like 2 weeks later. And then the end of July, he made it Facebook official with his side chick, his rebound relationship. That is another topic that I will also put on my episode. So going back to what I'm saying. And so towards the end of July, he made it Facebook official that he has a new girlfriend. And then I officially divorced him in the beginning of the week of August. So for me, my thing is that is considered as cheating, okay? And yeah, it fucking sucks. And you know, like, some of you guys might say that, oh, that's not cheating. It's not like he cheated within the relationship. But still, for me, I feel like that is cheating. Even if we I guess between us two say that we were no longer together, but you didn't respect the culture, you didn't respect yourself, you didn't respect me, you didn't respect your family enough to tell them, to communicate with them that I'm done, let's do this process. And also, again, you guys, his dad has history of knowing the divorce process. I just don't understand why they didn't go from there and start the process. They didn't even do that. I was so confused. So my thing was like, you know what? I'm just going to end it. Right after we divorced, guess what, you guys? 4 months after the divorce, he got his side chick pregnant. You guys, ladies, I tell you, you have to trust your instinct. When your instinct is telling you something, you have to believe it, okay? I knew deep down that, you know, Lost Boy was a hoe. He's gonna fuck any other bitches that he meet one day. It don't matter what it is. It don't matter if she is, I don't know, used or whatever. You know, and again, if you want your whole face, kudos to you. Like, that's you. But I'm just saying overall. For him, I knew who he was as a person already. He was that easy to the point where I knew that I have to divorce him, because if he don't, he's gonna get his side chick pregnant. And 4 months later, he did, y'all. He did. Yeah, I was sad, but at the same time, I was like, damn, Drew, the fuck? You're so smart as hell. Like, damn, you knew better. Like, you know his dumb ass was gonna get his side chick pregnant. Like, damn. I just gave myself a pat in the back, because I'm like, girl, if you stay with him, he would still cheat on you. He would still fuck other hoes and other bitches, and you're just gonna deal with it? Fuck no. Ladies or gents, okay, know your worth. It's not worth staying in a relationship and deal with the disrespect. Him disrespecting you, you know. And my thing is that if you get cheated on and you take them back, you're disrespecting yourself. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna lay it out like that. You know, if you take him back or you fuck him or her after you divorce, whatever, you're disrespecting yourself. You're disrespecting your body, okay? Like, for me, I knew that. I'm like, you know, fuck this shit. I'm not gonna deal with this motherfucker. And I was right. I knew that, you know, this is who he is as a person. He's a lowlife. He's a hoe, man hoe. And, you know, like I say, him getting his side chick pregnant was just proof that he's that down low of a guy, and like I say, even though he himself claimed that he doesn't condone cheating, you guys, that is cheating. Okay, that's just me. I felt like it was cheating, and if you guys don't agree with that, that's on you. But for me, I respect my marriage. I respect the Hmong culture, even though I don't know too much about it, but I know a little bit to the point where I don't want to do things that will disrespect it, because again, I am Hmong, and if being married and you have to include your culture, then of course, definitely. But for him, no. All I'm saying is that with him cheating on me, and with his parents disrespecting me and him disrespecting me, that was the main reason as to why I was like, fuck this relationship. Like, this is not even worth to stay in, because if you keep allowing yourself to be in this relationship, you're allowing them to disrespect you. And if you don't speak up, they're gonna walk all over you and disrespect you more without you knowing. And the last reason as to why I just decided to end it, it's obvious that me knowing my worth, knowing that I deserve better, knowing that I don't have to deal with this bullshit. I can do me by myself, and I deserve respect. And if they're not going to give me respect, then fuck them. So those are my reasons as to why I decided that was it. No more. Enough is enough. Enough with the disrespect. Enough with the cheating. Enough with being passively there, and me discovering my worth, knowing that I deserve better and that the motherfucker is going to take me for granted. So I hope that you guys enjoy the funny stories that I've told you. And like I said, when you think about the past life and the past experience, especially the experience that are really bad to you, you will have a lot of emotions. Okay, yes, I am angry about what had happened to me, and like I said, I would definitely go in depth with how I'm feeling after everything has happened. I keep repeating myself, but I'm just reassuring, and I'm just letting you guys know, don't worry. Even though it's like very short, I promise you guys, I will tell you guys the details. I'm all about the details, okay? So the next segment of the podcast, as I mentioned in the other episodes, just a reminder, you can send me a Dear Sister letters and poems via Google Doc. You can find the links on my Facebook page. I will be reading submissions on each of the episodes and responding to them at the very end of the episodes. So now that we're here, let's start off with the Dear Sister's letter. Dear Sister, I enjoy listening to your podcast and how open you are on taboo topics. I hope you can find true love someday. If you were to give any advice to people looking for love, what would it be? What are some red flags you noticed in your past relationship, in the dating phase, that became a bigger issue after marriage? And how are you healing your health after experiencing heartbreak and trauma? Thank you, sending love and light. Well, sending love and light to you too. Thank you so much for writing to me. So there's 3 questions, and I will go into them in details. The first question that you asked me was, if you were to give any advice to people looking for love, what would it be? A couple things. To look for love, you have to look within yourself first. I learned that if you don't know how to love yourself, you don't know how to be in your own space by yourself, then you can't be able to love other people. Another thing is, don't settle for anyone. Stick to your standards. If you have a standard, or if you don't have a standard, make a list. Make a list of your standards and stick to it. If there are people out there that are telling you, oh, you're so picky, you should just lower your standard, fuck no. You have your standards for a reason. And those standards are basically your boundaries when it comes to your relationship. And so, like I said, don't settle for anyone just because they have 1 or 2 things. But you yourself know what those are and what you can and cannot tolerate. Another thing is, this is a secret, you guys. And I'm gonna whisper. If you want to find a good person, or what society is saying is high value man or woman, they are not at the club or bars. Did you guys hear that? If you want to find a good person, or what society nowadays have said, high value men or women, don't look for them at the club or bars. They're not going to be there. Trust me, I'm one of those high value women, and I don't go to those clubs and bars. And the reason why those high value men and women are there is because they're too busy working on themselves. They're too busy improving themselves. They're too busy being the best version. That way they can be the best version for their partner, their future partner. So like I said, don't look for love at the club or bars. Trust me on that. And then the last, and I know some of you guys have done this and it might work for you guys, but for me, I just told myself that I'm not going to take this route. And that is, don't do online dating. You guys, there's so many stories out there of women getting killed, kidnapped, all those bad things, and even like dates that are horrible. I mean, if you have good experience online dating, kudos to you. But for me, to be on the safe side, that's just not for me. But if it works for you, go ahead, but just be safe, okay? So the next question, the second question that you asked me is, what are some red flags you noticed in your past relationship in the dating phase that became a bigger issue after marriage? A couple of things on that. The first red flag from the beginning of the relationship will be the same reason you leave the relationship. And the reason why I said that is because I'll give you guys an example. The reason why I married Lost Boy was because I wanted respect from his parents. But like I mentioned previously in the beginning of this episode, I ended the relationship because they didn't respect me in return. Another red flag that I noticed was more talking, less action. I am all about action speaks louder than words. Lost Boy was the type of person who talks so much shit, but couldn't do shit. He thinks that he was a man of his word, but he was never a man of his word, you guys. Like, he talks so much shit that he's gonna do this, do that. When we bought the house, he said that he was gonna fix this room, make it nice for his, I don't know, business, or what, for my business, my office. He's gonna do that. He said that he loved me. Do you really know what love is? I don't think so. Like, just so much shit talking. But when it comes to doing it, he didn't do it. And like I mentioned, another red flag is saying I love you too quick and wanting to be in a relationship very quick. So I've been to other dates, and there was a date that I went on, and it was pretty quick because he wanted to be in a relationship with me, and it was like our first date. Well, he claimed that it was a first date, but I felt like it was like a third date. But anyways, that is another story to tell, okay? But I just felt like overall, if a person that you're with is very quick into being in a relationship with you or saying I love you, let's say for like a week or 2 months, that is a red flag. It's just their way of just manipulating you to, I don't know, doing things with them or just rushing things. Because you have to ask yourself, do they really love you? Do they know you enough to love you? Do they want to be in a relationship with you, or do they just want to be in a relationship because they're dependent of you, or they just codependent where they need someone there? You have to ask yourself that question. So those are just a couple of red flags. There's just a ton more, and again, like I've repeated myself throughout this podcast, I will definitely do a separate episode on red flags versus green flags for my people out there that are dating or in the process of getting dating. I would definitely do an episode for that, okay? And then your last question that you asked me, how are you healing your heart after experiencing heartbreak and trauma? I feel like after divorce. And like I mentioned, definitely will do an in-depth episode on this as well. But just to make it short and just give you guys an insight of what I will be talking about when it comes to the episode, is that I felt like after the divorce, I had a spiritual awakening. A spiritual awakening as to, is there more to God? Am I really a Christian, or am I just a believer? Do me not going to church make me less of a Christian? Do me believing in tarot cards reading, crystals, am I a witch? Am I sinning? Like, you guys, I had just so many questions when it comes to that. I got myself into tarot card readings, got into crystals. And then of course, I don't consider myself a Christian anymore, just because I don't go to church. I haven't gone to church for, let's say, almost like 4 years now. And I just consider myself a spiritual person and a believer in God. I'm not an atheist. I still believe there's a God. And I do watch videos that helps me incorporate the Bible into my life. Just because I don't go to church, that doesn't mean that I don't believe in God. I believe there's a God. I believe there's a loving God. And like I said, you guys, I'll go in details in that in a different episode. But yeah, after you go through something traumatic in your life, with a heartbreak and divorce, I don't know, but I just had a spiritual awakening. And I don't know if it's like the year 2020, where, you know, people break up and then they have a spiritual awakening. I don't know. Like, I got myself into astrology. I mean, I don't know much, but I got myself into that. I got myself into horoscope reading, a lot of spiritual things. And so that's what happened to me. Another thing was, unlike Lost Boy, you know, when he and I supposedly separated and whatnot and divorced, he jumped to a relationship that quick and that easily. As for me, I didn't. I am still single till this day. After the divorce, I'm still single, and I'm very content. And I've learned that, you know, I have to work on relearning myself. I have to learn what I like, what I dislike, what I love to do, what makes me happy. Like, I have to relearn who I am as a person. And and by choice, I decided to stay single. I mean, I could just easily get with somebody, but I don't want to do that, because there's more to just being with another person. And even if I was with another person, it will just be for the wrong reasons. It's almost 2 years now, but a year and I guess a year and a couple months now, and I'm still single. I'm still working on myself. I'm very content. And, you know, I didn't jump to another relationship, because why would I carry all my baggages into the next relationship and get mad at that person and, you know, throw all my bad emotions to that person? Like, that wouldn't be right for that new person that's going to be in my life. So I'd rather just work on myself, improve myself. That way, when I do meet that person in the future, then I am a better version. I also seeked therapy. I just did it online because, again, we were in the middle of the pandemic, and so it was really hard to just seek outside help. I did meet up with the therapist online, and it just didn't help me as much, just because, like what everybody was saying, you know, you have to meet numerous of therapists in order to know which one is right for you. And you guys, I just didn't want to waste my time on that. I just didn't want to just keep finding new therapists all over again, and it costs money too. And so I just didn't have money for that. You know, like, it was a good experience. I felt like it could have been better, because I just felt like the therapist that I was talking to, he just wasn't someone that I can connect and where I can go in depth with my issues. And so I just stopped seeing a therapist. And so I just decided to just, go to YouTube, watch some videos of people who are life coaches, people who had experience in a marriage, in a relationship, and people who did a lot of self-love, people who went through families or in-laws who are quote unquote narcissists. Whatever videos or people that I watched that resonated with me, like I just took whatever information they gave me and I just took it from there. It helped me a lot, even though the therapist didn't help me. But for me, I'm very self-aware of everything. I get that there are good and there are bad. If you do good, something's gonna happen to you. If you do bad, then something's gonna happen to you, like karma, basically. So I'm not stupid, unlike the in-laws and Lost Boy, okay? Like I know what's right or wrong. And I know that I myself want to become a better person. I'm always about self-love, self-growth, just growing, because at the end of the day, you'll never stop growing. You'll never stop seeking knowledge. The only time you stop growing, the only time you change to become better is when you no longer are alive in this world. And my thing is that if I'm still alive, I have to keep learning, keep improving, and just become the better version of myself. I also have been doing a lot of affirmation towards myself. I would tell myself that I'm beautiful, even when I put makeup on, even when I dress really nice. I tell myself, damn, Drew, you look bomb, you look sexy. Like, I tell me all that. I even love my body. I mean, my body is not in a stage where I wanted it to be, but I've just learned to accept it. I love my body. I love my hair. I love my chicken skin. My chicken skin. Like, I just love everything about me. Like, compared to how I was from today and from the time when I was in that relationship, I'm a lot happier. And so I just learned to just affirm myself and tell myself that, you deserve a whole lot. You're such a good person. You're just a loving person. Like, I hype myself up, okay? So yeah, that's what I've been doing. And again, like I said, I will for sure do a separate episodes getting into details as to what happened during my spiritual awakening, what did I learn being a single woman now, and people that I follow to help me through this process of this heartbreak and trauma. And I will definitely go in depth with that, okay? But again, sister, thank you so much for sending this Dear Sister letters. And as always, please submit them, everyone, so that I can read yours and respond to it. Okay, and then our last segment of the episode is poems. And again, like I mentioned with the Dear Sister letters, you can always send me a poem of yours that you've written. That way I can share it to all of us on my podcast. Because like I said, when I started reading poems or just words of affirmation, it's a self-healing thing and it helps me. So for this poem that I'm going to read to you guys was written by Robert Paul Giles, and the title is To Let Go Takes Love. To let go does not mean to stop caring. It means I can't do it for anyone else. To let go is not to cut myself off. It is the realization that I can't control another. To let go is not to enable, but to allow learning from natural consequences. To let go is to admit powerlessness, which means the outcome is not in my hands. To let go is not to try to change or blame another. It is to make the most of myself. To let go is to care for, but to care about. To let go is to fix, but to be supportive. To let go is not to judge, but to allow another to be a human being. To let go is not to be in the middle, arranging all the outcomes, but to allow others to affect their own destinies. To let go is not to be protective, it is to permit another to face reality. To let go is not to deny, but to accept. To let go is not to nag, scold, or argue, but instead to search out my own shortcomings and to correct them. To let go is not to adjust everything to my desires, but to take each day as it comes and to cherish myself in it. To let go is not to criticize and regulate anybody, but to try to become what I dream I can be. To let go is not to regret the past, but to grow and to live for the future. To let go is to fear less and to love more. All right, you guys, this is all I have for this episode. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. And I will always repeat myself. If there was any topics that I didn't elaborate more on, don't worry. I will have a separate episode on it, just because, like I said, there's so much details that I want to share with you guys, okay? I don't want to leave anything out. So if you guys do hear me repeat myself, it's because, all these topics are good to talk about. It will help me to heal my traumas, and it'll help educate you guys and to inform you guys of that. These things do happen. These bad things do happen, and it's just part of life. And if you do listen to me, if you do tune in, and somehow it's helping you to relate to your situation, then I'm grateful and happy that it's helping you. But overall, that is all that I have for this episode. And again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.